Looks like I'm live. Yes, April 2024. Dr. Matthews, professor of everything. No, just English, literature, and film. Here we go. Let me know if you can hear me. Always the tech problems could creep up. But this live stream is about what we're going to watch this month or what we could watch. Film recommendations for you. I'm going to try to help you out, be the Yoda to your Luke Skywalker and guiding you through the enormous amount of choices you have. We'll look at Criterion Channel, maybe some other things, and then just talk about, I have a few movie topics, actually just a couple movie topics, but I think pretty interesting ones to bring up here. So that's the nature of this show. Let's make sure everybody gets in here. YouTube is always a little slow. Hello. There in the chat, which I'm going to pay attention to, that very valuable comments usually show up. I have Letterboxd here, which is on screen. Feel free to follow me there. You know, I'm writing about what I watch all the time. Maybe that's helpful to you. Hope so. I write to myself, but I think other people have found it useful. So that's Letterboxd, obviously, and then Substack, which I'm doing, and it's building and getting more and more people. I'm enjoying that. I wrote recently it's my most recent one at the top, but what are my favorites? I tried to answer some basic questions that tend to come up in this chat, and also, you know, I'm asked occasionally in comments on Discord and everywhere else. I try to condense that into this basically one article. And I also, for paid subscribers, started to do this. This is a longer thing. How to watch a movie, and I don't know how many lessons I'll do, but I'll do as many as I can. Those take some time, so I put it under the paid subscriber section. So yeah, I'm not sponsored by anybody, although, you know, I will say I'm enjoying the Spindrift lemonade. I just like sparkling carbonated water, and the flavored stuff is, I don't know, less interesting. This has real fruit juice in it, so I'm sponsored by Spindrift. They're not paying me. Also by Criterion, they're not paying me either. So I make money on my own. It's not much, but it's something. I really appreciate everyone's participation. So what I decided to do is, I didn't have a good page for this because I don't know what your view is. I have my view behind the scenes, but besides the channel membership level, which is the lowest possible over here in the Cinephile per month, I decided, you know what? There's so many people asking me in comments. Of course, it costs them nothing to do this, to say, hey, would you please make a video on this, that, and the other thing? And I've never figured out a good way to do that, because most of the time I just don't answer or ghost them, because, I mean, what am I going to do, say no? Which sounds meaner than ghosting to me. But I decided, you know, if you want to pay for it, why don't you go ahead? I honestly do not know what the right price is for this, so maybe this is dirt cheap. I don't know. If I have too many people sign up, then I'm going to have a problem. But anyway, I just introduced this new tier. So if you want to do this, there's exclusive member-only videos. Go for it. Total experiment on my part. I have literally no idea what I'm doing behind the scenes on this channel, but trying stuff out. So that's what we're doing. Substack, YouTube, and Letterboxd are super helpful. I'm going to get to recommendations. So eventually, I'm going to get to Criterion Channel. I like it a lot. They don't sponsor me either, but I just, for years now, have promoted their stuff. Let me get back to this. This came up on Twitter, okay, X, and it was interesting. Maybe it's just a hot take thing and people will forget about it 2 days later. I think it's a persistent problem and a major systematic problem. And I had my own take, which I tweeted out, which, like, who cares? But this is interesting. Francis Ford Coppola, who is one of my favorite filmmakers ever, like one of the best. Here he's got a movie he made, Megalopolis, science fiction movie, so I'm all in on this thing. But he's trying to market it and get it distributed to movie theaters, so I come to my theater and your theater. I don't intimately know the business processes behind this. It sounds complicated and arduous and horrible to me. But he's having a hard time, I think, finding a distributor for the movie. He's also going to need to pay up in marketing. I think he's sold some vineyards. He's had a huge winery business. Sold some of that to make this movie. It's a passion project. Of course, he's old, so he's going to do whatever he wants with his money in his old age. I don't blame him for that. I like this, but go for your passions. I'm wondering, and he's having a hard time finding distribution. So people are all upset on X, well, for good reason. I can go through all the tweets, and I'm probably not going to get the top ones here, but a lot of people are saying this is ridiculous. The people in Hollywood are saying they don't know how to market it. So the X commenters are saying, well, why don't you market this as from the director of The Godfather, something like that, the director of Apocalypse Now. It's not going to be hard to market a Coppola movie, But the problem with the whole thing is it is a giant risk to make a movie. It takes a lot of guts and financial guts, including from these people who would buy the movie if that's what they would do or help distribute it. Film history is riddled with bankruptcies, with losing hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's easy on X just to get on there at no cost and say, hey, Hollywood studios are idiots. They're broken. They only like franchise fare, and they won't put out a Coppola movie. But if you had skin in the game and it were your $100 million that you could lose, would you then pony up? I actually think a lot of these people would not. And they think they're complaining too much about it. So I wonder if the Coppola thing, if he could be helped from crowdsourcing. At what point do movies, and I mean major movies, get crowdsourced? I mean, could Ari Aster say, I'm going to make a horror movie? I think he could, and then get crowdfunding. But then again, I don't know the power or potency of that. I for a Coppola movie, I know I would do this. I'm looking at his One from the Heart. I actually planned on this. I'm going to buy it on May 7th when it comes out in the United States. 4K release, because that one has... That great movie, in my opinion, has no good disc, and it needs the restoration. I would pay, would you, like $30-40 Kickstarter? I get a movie theater ticket, I get the DVD, I get the Blu-ray. And so for that contribution, for Megalopolis, I would do this. So the question is, could you crowdsource this? I have no idea. I really don't know. I would say that Hollywood is broken. They're not into creativity. They are more about the business aspect than the artistic aspect. I think that's a valid criticism. But the business aspect is so important to keep afloat. So there is a balance there. Not much of a hot take. But I do think if you're saying, why don't these people put up $100 million? There's a big skin in the game problem there. It's easy to say, harder to do. So I hope he gets this distributed because Adam Driver it looks great. It looks I'm all into this movie. I think it's fantastic. I'll see it in the first day it's released. But how does it get to me in the movie theater? And how hard of a process is that for Coppola? I don't know. Oh, the one other thing I would say about this. Probably besides democratic crowdsourcing, there could be a patron here. So one of my big complaints of the modern world is all of the billionaires, a lot of them are not into funding arts. Or some of them are, okay, but others of them are involved in funding giant football programs, college football programs. Seriously, I mean, they spend tens of millions of dollars donating to college football programs. Why not create art? Create things that last thousands of years, potentially. Visual arts like sculptures and paintings, okay. Movies, video games, why not do this? So Elon Musk buys X, okay, you do whatever you want with your money. He's funding missions to Mars. He's funding, brain implants. There's got to be people out there who are interested in funding arts at a high level. And starting a movie company, movie studio that might lose $20 million a year, but there's certain billionaires who can afford that forever. Like, this is Coppola's passion project. He's losing money. He knows he's going to do it. He doesn't care. He's in his old age. Why can't billionaires do this as well? I can't. The billionaires we have today seem interested in their toys, their houses, and their science fictional passion projects. Some of which makes sense to me. Others of which I go, that's kind of cockamamie. Where are the arts at? So why not here I go again, this megalomaniac idea. If I had $30 billion, Why not take 10 billion of that and fund a movie studio and give 20 million to Ari Aster and say, hey, go make 10 movies at 20, 30, 40 million a piece. That's a ton of money. I'm going to make some of it back. We'll make some of it back. Just a thought. If you're a billionaire out there watching this, there you go. And glory might come to you if that's what you're interested in, your legacy. Name the studio after yourself. You know, it worked for Warner Brothers. So it could be Musk Studios, Elon Studios. Anyway, just a wild, crazy thought. Okay, that's enough. Whatever. Another thought I have, I'm all in on this idea. I wrote about it in my Substack, paid Substack piece. Like, I do not think movies generate empathy. I think they can. But famously, Roger Ebert, the great Chicago Times critic who I refer to all the time, said movies are empathy machines. They generate empathy for people you don't know about, you've never experienced their lives. You can see their lives intimately and viscerally in movies, so you can connect with people who you have no prior knowledge of or no experience with. And thus, the movies generate empathy, sympathetic feelings with a person, I suppose. And though it's a fake person on screen, it might generate empathy for real people. I do not believe this. I believe that can happen in limited cases or sometimes with some movies. In my experience, people are pretty tribal about movies. They argue terribly about them on the internet. Of course, they're anonymous. They have their own special identity-making movies that they saw when they were a kid, teenager, that changed their lives. And if you question the movie or criticize it negatively, you are a horrible person. I personally experienced a lot of that, of course, being on the internet with anonymous commenters. But I find that the movie arguments are very strident. So I'm trying to figure out what that means. They're not empathy machines, they're something else. Okay, I call them hypnosis machines. So I see this tweet. This guy wrote a evolutionary biology article. I like what his fundamental beliefs about the biases of the world are. And in fact, this tweet, for me, like, I have a bias here because I believe this tweet. So I'm saying I make a correct assessment because this tweet is correct. Anyway, this is playing into its own biases. There's a meta thing here. But I find that this tweet right here goes for movies and people's preferences for movies. I make correct assessments, and this is of any decision or any value system belief. But for movies, I love this movie. Well, I make correct assessments. I'm good. The people who like it are good. Thus I'm right. I experience this all the time. People come at me for not liking a movie they like, and their group likes. And so I find that I'm interested in the biases that people have and not seeing other possibilities for the art that's in front of them that's inherently complex. So I'm interested in the evolutionary, biological, and psychological angle. Anyway, if you're interested in that, go for it. I just find this interesting. Why do people... the giant question for me, why do people respond to movies in the way that they do? And then love them maybe the rest of their lives. I bet, by the way, you think about it, what movies when you were a kid you watched and they still stick with you and you still love, even though most people don't love them. I say this because I'm making a video right now on my 1980s guilty pleasure movies. So these are movies I really like, but a lot of people don't or think are stupid. And I'm doing the top 20 list, okay? I'm thinking, why do I like these? Well, maybe because I affirm this list in front of me, or think, in the criticism, these three things are deadly in criticism. They make you short-sighted. They make you not able to understand other possibilities or the way other people think about things. So my hope would be, like with Ebert, that movies, art in general, makes you more open to other possibilities besides your own narrow, and everybody is this way, everybody narrow-minded ways. But I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure, Ebert, that movies make us more empathetic. All right, whatever. That's a huge topic to explore at some point. I'm just throwing it out there for you. Now, what I do is, we're 10 minutes into this, recommend things for you to watch. Criterion's always good. They renewed my membership, or will do so. They sent me an email. It's still $89 a year. $89.99. I think that's because I'm a charter subscriber, so I've not stopped subscribing, and I subscribed initially 4, 5, 6 years ago. But man, have they heard of the of inflation? I mean, price inflation. The in theory that it should have gone up to $120. I don't know how they do it. So I usually go to recommend things for you to the what's leaving section, because that helps us understand, like, we have a subscription to the channel. It could be gone. Okay, so let's watch it before it leaves the channel. That's the method I would recommend. When I surveyed this list before doing this live stream, I'm like, well, either I don't know these or there aren't that many. I'd go, hey, go watch that. Bizarrely, Freddy Got Fingered, you must go read Roger Ebert's initial review on this. The most trash, he thinks it's the most trashy thing ever. Somehow it's on Criterion Channel. If you don't know what this is, Tom Green used to have reality TV show. So I don't know. I've never seen it. I liked his show on MTV back when I was in college, but should I try this? Is this worth it? I like how the way they put it. Irredeemable affront to good taste, or subversive Dada masterpiece. I'm going to go and say this isn't a Dada masterpiece. I'm pretty sure you can't label anything that's incredibly stupid as Dada and affirm it. I don't think so. But they have some movies that Ebert trash. Cocktail is another one. Of course, Raging Bull is on here. So if you have a Criterion Channel, haven't seen that, need to see it again, go for it. I think that's worth it. The Jonathan Glazer movies, I should do this today, if not this week. The Zone of Interest is movie from last year, is now on HBO Max. I'll probably go watch that, but I could watch his past movies. I've seen a couple of these, but I'm not too familiar with him. I think Husbands it's a very good movie, great movie. We'll come back to the channel, though. Sometimes they pull these off and then put them back on. Do not like Starman. I wrote about that on Letterboxd. John Carpenter, but that's a happy John Carpenter movie. In between making The Thing and They Live, he makes Starman. It's not like those movies at all. But Jeff Bridges is really good in that as an alien. That's probably one of my favorite alien performances, is Jeff Bridges in Starman. He's learning to become a human as he goes along through the movie. It's pretty well done. There's an Ernst Lubitsch movie. You probably should watch that. But all in all, I'm looking at this. This one is okay. I can't ever pronounce his name. Sorry, Wong Char-wai. Sorry. I've done so many videos on him, I can't pronounce his name. Sorry. But this is, I think, one of his latest movies. Has he made one after this? It's okay. I wasn't in love with it. You might like it. That's why I'm bringing it up. So I look at this list, I go, man, I don't see much here, or those I don't know. If you know these, let us know in the comments. And usually we have commenters who know this stuff. Another one that is really interesting, A Matter of Life and Death, which I covered on the channel. I did a video on, so go check that out. But I think that's a really interesting movie at a moment when people are disturbed. It's World War II, post-World War II. What happens to us when we die, alternative lives, even a multiverse kind of thing going on in this movie. Not really, but in a way. Has anyone seen this movie? So it's William Friedkin, Chevy Chase, Sigourney Weaver. I do not remember this. So I'm wondering, just crowdsourcing this, have you seen Friedkin's Deal of the Century? Chevy Chase? Friedkin movie? I don't know what that would be. Should I try it? God, I can't. If I've seen it, I've totally blanked on it. So there's our quick survey of what's leaving. So I liked this collection back here, if I can find it. I thought it was an interesting premise. One Night. These are movies. It sounds like the classical. The classical unity of having a play take place within a 24-hour span, and that's the rules or the limits of such plays. a one night movie where everything takes place over one night. I'm looking at this list going, man, yeah, those are really good. Maybe this premise works well. Collateral's okay. Michael Mann. I can't remember this one. I think this is pretty good, though. This is Carpenter's movie before Escape from New York. It's in that gritty New York crime, or is this L.A.? Oh, it's L.A. Like crime-infested cities of the 70s feel, right? After Hours, great movie. I've covered that. Before Sunrise, covered that. Love it. Mikey and Nikki is a fantastic movie. I'm hunting for movies that I need. My summer's coming. I'm going to have more time. Movies I need to do. I got my note cards out. Need to do videos on. And this one needs to go to the top of the list. Mikey and Nikki. It's Elaine May. It's a director in the 1970s. And it's a wonderful movie. Isn't Peter Falk is in this, right? Am I crazy? Yeah, Cassavetes and Falk. It's a wonderful buddy. What's a Friend movie? There were a lot of these movies. What is a Friend? Especially in this world of dirty crime of the America of the 1970s in the movie world. What is a Friend? I just love this movie, and the acting is great, and the script is fantastic. So go watch that. If I'm going to recommend one movie right now today, it's this one. Okay, this is really good. Although these other ones are good too. You've heard me talk about After Hours if you've been hanging around on this channel, though. Have you seen Lahane? Sorry, French pronunciation. A lot of people love this movie. I thought it was. What did I think about this? It's a great looking movie, and so you look at it on Letterboxd, and a lot of people love it. So I would take their advice, and it's only 98 minutes. If you're a young guy, great. Cleo from 5 to 7 is a fantastic movie. Night of the Living Dead is a classic. My Dinner with Andre is awesome. I love that. Night on Earth is excellent. So this collection, if you're like, I don't know about what's leaving the channel, is really, really good all around. I've seen Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf 2. I don't totally remember it very well. So this has been like 20 to 30 years ago. So I'm not going to say anything about that one. But I've seen almost all these, and they're great. That's why all the good to great. So I would promote that to you for this channel, or for watching. Oh yeah, they have a Friedkin collection as well. So if you're into him, I watched The Exorcist recently. Some of you might have seen that on Letterboxd that I wrote about The Exorcist. I did not remember that movie well at all. My memory from seeing it 20, 30 years, probably 25 to 30 years ago, was that it was all about the demon possession of the girl. But it turns out the first half of the movie is all set up from that perspective. It's not the same movie. I thought it was like, it starts in Egypt and stays there for 10 to 15 minutes, and then it goes to New York City, I think, or New Jersey, wherever it is in the East Coast, and then it takes its long, sweet time. And it was hard for me as I watched it to think about this movie being so wildly box office successful. In the 1970s, audiences are just wildly different. I didn't need to be so entertained by things that are flashing on the screen and big sounds all the time. Unbelievable. So I didn't love The Exorcist when I watched it, because I was like, what is this about? It looks like it's cheapening the concept. I realize it's a core classic, but sort of cheapening the concept of demon possession, if there is such a thing. But I, as you guys know, am not a horror movie guy, really. I feel like horror to me is psychological, existential, spiritual, and more menacing when it's the form of like real clear sins. Like Envy, Amadeus is a horror movie. That what Salieri is up to in his life, that's horror to me. Okay, so then I look at Exorcist and go, okay, this is just schlock or gross out stuff. Physical things, organic things don't bother me. It's all that psychological, spiritual stuff. So yeah. Oh, it's Washington D.C. Yeah. I'm looking at the chat. Oh, Exorcist is in Washington, which may be a comment, by the way. I didn't think of it that way, but why is that in Washington D.C.? So Friedkin's here. That's where the deal of the century is. But they only have, looks like they only have four or five movies there. All right. Well, there's a lot more to explore. You can never exhaust what's on this channel. And that's why I only have Max and this and Criterion. I watch Max for some of the TV shows that have been on HBO. And now they have A24 on Max. Okay, so there's that. And then Criterion, what else does a guy need? What else does anybody need? So I'll let you all tell me what else to watch. But, you know, Mubi and these other ones are worthy of checking out. But those are the two I have. I don't honestly need to pay for anything else. So anyway, well, that took a good amount of time. Lots of people here. This is great. I want to check out the chat real quickly. There's lots of people. Thank you for joining as a member. I appreciate that. That is super helpful because my salary isn't that large as a professor. You guys may think a professor makes a lot. No. I probably could go be a fast food manager and make more. So this hobby of mine is a nice supplement, although it's still for fun. And I do enjoy it. Hello from Norway, Australia, people from around the world. You're watching at 2 a.m.? Great. Thank you so much. You know, I was thinking about the other day, if I want to go on vacation somewhere, I've been to places I want to go mostly besides the UK. Like, where do I want to go? And my thought was I want to go to Australia. And I want to go do a road trip across Australia. Is that a crazy idea? Like, am I going to see... I love desert landscapes, though. I just absolutely love them. So I feel like that sort of huge road trip across that continent would be awesome. Am I wrong? Anyway, let me know if Australia is worth visiting and seeing quite a bit of it. I have no idea. It looks nice on a lot of films. Question, Matt asked. Matt, you're at 2 a.m. in Australia, so I'm going to answer this for sure. Or try to. What do you think of the quality of 2024 releases? You want my honest opinion? I have no idea. Well, the ones I know about are horrible. But the problem has been that with COVID and then the writer's strike and the actor strikes slowed movie production down. And so now we don't have a lot of movies to be released. I think that's what the nadir we're hitting with movie releases at this point. So we're seeing a lot of re-releases of older movies from the past 20, 30 years. I have seen those in my local theater. I'm not seeing them. I just saw that they're released. So I feel like 2024 cannot be judged well because of those. I think mostly because of the strikes and thus the slowdown in production. Of course, Dune 2 was scheduled for last year in October, November. And then it got moved back because of the strikes to March of 2024. So if Dune wasn't there, part 2, this would be a disaster of a year. Nothing has come to my local theater, which doesn't get much except the big fair, but still. So they're going to have the Civil War movie by Alex Garland come there in a couple days. I will go see that, but I honestly have been paying attention to my own pet project, which is to work on movies of the early 90s. I'm going through all the Oscar revisitation videos and making those, and so I've been doing that rather than paying attention to new releases, which I will start to do actually real soon because I'm looking at my list actually right there. Civil War, Ryan Gosling's in The Fall Guy. I've seen the advertisements for that, and then the Planet of the Apes movies coming out, which I've liked those, so I'll go see this next one. But even then, maybe the quality isn't so great. In fact, if you want to do this exercise, I do this occasionally, so it doesn't refresh itself, so it's kind of doing it again for some of you. What's coming out soon, and these are the big ones. See, Alien is being re-released April 26th in certain places. And you will see that this is my site, firstshowing.net, for seeing what's coming out. But, and I complained about this in the last live stream. The other problem with 2024 releases, there are a lot of 2s and 3s and 4s in franchises, remakes, and 1980s fare. Even The Fall Guy is a 80s TV show. Phantom Menace re-release? What? I don't need that. Do you? I don't think we need that. And the reason they're doing that, I'm almost dead sure, of the writer's strike, the various strikes that happened last year, which slowed and stopped film production. Another, a prequel to Furiosa, another Garfield movie. I did that, Bad Boys 4, the remake in The Crow, Inside Out 2. That's a Quiet Day Part 3, Quiet Place Part 3, Despicable Me 4. It just goes on. So I'm not really sure. And one of these days, if I get rich enough, a guy can dream, can I would go to the Cannes Film Festival to, preview all these things for you guys and whatever they're releasing there. That sounds like a good time in southern France. I wouldn't want to hang around all the people there, and because that's not me, but I would like to see the movies. So if I were there, I could tell you more, but that's a good question. All right. Yeah, first third of the calendar year is commonly quiet, sometimes, for sure. Dr. Davis says, Coppola turned into an Orson Welles figure. Success early in his career, never to be repeated. Yeah, what success? I love many of Coppola's 80s movies. Maybe, later on, he seems to have gotten worse. Sort of. Quality drop-off, but he might make a comeback. I don't know. I think Orson Welles, success, yes, early, but Orson Welles made a lot of killer movies later, so it just depends on your definition of success, obviously. Success within the popular mind, box office, yeah, you're dead right. Absolutely right. I like this question from, I'm sorry, Bjornar. Is it Bjornar from Norway? Loyal follower of this channel, thank you. Are there too many biopics? I would love to say biopics, because that's my favorite mispronunciation. I have a 10-year-old at home. He loves to mess with people and mispronounce words, and he would just drive the pronunciation police on YouTube nuts. Are there too many biopics? Yeah, of certain types of people. Like, I don't need another biopic of a rock musician, ever. Like, you better have a fascinating life besides the classic rock and roll story to warrant a movie about you. Like, we don't need any more of those. We don't need more of giant celebrities. Like, here we have another Elvis Presley family movie recently. A couple of those last year. So people of interest, absolutely, we're lacking those. I mean, there's so many people in history who've had absolute bizarre lives, absolutely fascinating lives. I don't think we're lacking in that. I think we're lacking in good ones. But you're right. Is there an Amy Winehouse biopic? I did not know that. I knew about the Bob Marley one, but not the Amy Winehouse, huh? And the problem with those scripts is, what else can they do but tell the normal story? And I don't know how. You have to be a master director to interpret those scripts in a way that's fresh, if that's what people like. I think that people like you and me want. So I think I gave up on the rock or the rock ones with the Queen movie. Oh my gosh, the Queen one is just, oh man, I can't believe that. Anyway, yeah, I would agree with Joel Duff. Like, the money that these billionaires donate to politicians, they're doing it for access or for other things. Put in the arts, it's not the arts can guarantee anything, but if you're interested in your legacy, yes, if you're interested in so much 20th century art comes out of patrons, big money patrons. So the Criterion is $99 a year now for new subscribers. So sorry, yeah, if you have to be a charter member, which you can't be, but yeah, literally they renewed it $89 for Criterion. $99 is still a good deal for all the content they have and the curated collections. I believe that Criterion, what you get with them, you're getting, I can't guarantee this. I could be wrong, but I think you're getting real people curating all those collections, bringing stuff in and moving stuff out of the channel as, human decisions, and not what Netflix and everybody else does with these algorithmic-based decisions. And I find Criterion's site a little bit more navigable than these. Netflix is awful. Can't find anything there. And And I say that because on Discord we were reminiscing that the Netflix queue system for DVD way back in the day, this is 20 years ago, was really good. They would recommend movies to you based on what other people liked, other real people liked who were like you. So if other people liked a bunch of movies that you liked, and they liked these other movies you hadn't seen, you get recommended those. I thought that was the best recommendation system I've ever seen, because it hit more often than it missed. I thought that was better than the algorithms that are there today, because I tend to get advertised nonsense. All right. Anything else? I missed the Arc of Darkness. Oh, man. An Australia trip would be very expensive. Would it be? Why? Is Australia an expensive country to go to? No idea. I have no clue. I've not looked into that. To fight kangaroos. Yeah, I've heard kangaroos are like deer. Deer in North America. Like, they just don't care about them. They eat them. Northeast to southwest corner. Yeah, I just saw an Australian map and I was fascinated by the ecosystem variety. Yeah, the big chunk of it is the outback. Okay, it's hot, but all the different environments. One's like Spain, one's like the UK. I mean, all kinds of little ecosystems. That was part of what tipped me off to this idea. Oh, yeah, and I saw a story about this guy who ran. It's like one of those crazy human endeavor things that Werner Herzog loves to make fun of now, because there's nothing more to do in life than to do stupid human things anymore. But some guy ran from the tip of Africa at the bottom in South Africa all the way to the top. I don't know where he ended up, Libya or Algeria, wherever. He ran that whole span. It took him 350 days. There's a little bit of fun to that. In fact, you should have brought a film crew with that guy. It would have been made for a good documentary. Oh, by the way, down at the bottom, visit India. Okay. First of all, I love the food. Second of all, I love the idea. My problem is it too crowded? I'm worried about it being too crowded there. Like, I don't like people. I don't like crowds. I don't like lots of people. I want to get away. So my thought with Australia is, most of it is unpopulated, right? Or sparsely populated. So India? I don't know. I'd need places to go there, but yeah, okay. I could be talked into that. Napoleon deserved a better biopic. Yes, he did. Kit Katsy's right. 2024. You go to the back end of 2024, I bet we get some good stuff. Like, last year was really good. I think we're not gonna. I think while we have an actor problem. Like, who are the young actors who are gonna be great, who are charismatic? We're struggling in that area a lot, at least in the United States. The directors, maybe the script writers, but the directors actually, there's a good crop of younger people. And when I say younger, 30s, 40s, maybe we can include 50s there, but 30s directors. I think there's some talent. So hopefully we'll be okay. What's in the back half of this year? I saw another Alien movie. Okay. The Joker sequel has promise. I'm a little worried it's going to be so degenerate. But it's so weird too. No, I don't know about this. Now I'm looking at it. I don't know about the back half of the year. There's Eggers doing his Nosferatu remake, so maybe. Jeez. The TV show question is down there. I did it in my Substack. Okay, so if you go to my Substack and go to my favorites, go sign up for it. Free subscription is fine. Paid is great too, but I put my favorite TV shows ever in there, and I bifurcated the list. I did my favorites, and then I did my 70%ers. My 70%ers being the TV shows that have 70% of their episodes are good to great, 30% is fluff. So the TV show I'm watching right now is Succession, which I think is fantastic, but I'm not done with it, so I can't make a firm judgment on it. And I would say it's well written. Direction isn't like eye-poppingly awesome, but it's well done. and I love the ideas, what it's doing with those characters. So Succession, yeah, I'm late to the game on that, but that's, I don't know, it's a pretty recent show. It tends to take me 5, 10, 15 years to watch a show. You know, like I'm behind the times on TV. So yeah, I did watch the John Adams series. You know, early Americanist, so I had to watch that. Didn't that have a lot of shaky cam? That really bothered me, if I'm remembering correctly. I thought it was in that moment in like the early 2000s, the first decade of the 21st century. Way too overused shaky cam stuff. I thought there was a problem with that, but I could be misremembering. It's been a little while, 15 years, maybe, since I saw it. Yeah, this is John Adams. You know, good. My chuckle reminds you of Pee Wee Herman. I watched too much Pee Wee Herman when I was a kid, and now I am scarred for life. I have not seen Expats, so I am even out on this year altogether. I still have to catch up and watch movies from 2023, which I will do. Zone of Interest probably this week, hopefully. Well, this has been great. Thanks for watching. Substack, Letterboxd, everything else. Feel free to contact me in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. Maybe I'll get back to you. I got a lot of people contacting me lately. So I'll just keep you up to date and everything. I really appreciate everybody who's here. These great comments. It's so wonderful. Thanks for all the subscription stuff and so on. I hope you have a great month of watching movies. Some good releases on this channel. I hope video releases. All right. See you later. Bye-bye. Good.